The world is drowning in debt. Governments owe trillions of dollars, businesses are borrowing more than ever, and personal debt is skyrocketing. But what does this mean for you? Most people don't think about national debt or global financial crises in their daily lives. But what if I told you that every time you buy groceries, fill up your gas tank, or apply for a loan, you're already feeling the impact? Let's take a simple story. Meet James. James is an ordinary guy working a regular 9-to-5 job. A few years ago, life was much easier. His rent was affordable, groceries didn't cost as much, and he even managed to save some money. But today, James is struggling. His landlord just raised his rent by 20%. Food prices keep going up, and when he tried to buy a car, the interest rate on his loan was ridiculously high. So what changed? The answer lies in the global debt crisis. To understand how we got here, let's break it down. Imagine you have a credit card. You use it to buy things, and as long as you make your minimum payments, everything seems fine. But over time, your balance grows, and eventually, your interest payments become so high that you can barely keep up. So what do? Well, many people take out another loan to cover the first one. Now, imagine this on a worldwide scale. Governments borrow money all the time. They issue bonds, take loans, and print money to cover their expenses. But when the debt gets too big, paying it back becomes nearly impossible. Right now, global debt has surpassed $300 trillion, a number so large that it is hard to even comprehend. It's growing faster than the world's economy, and countries are struggling to manage it. But how did we get here? Well, let's rewind back to 2008. The financial crisis hit and governments had to bail out banks to prevent a total economic collapse. This meant borrowing billions of dollars. And fast forward to 2020 and the world faced a new challenge, the COVID-19 pandemic. Businesses shut down, people lost their jobs, and governments had to print trillions of dollars to keep economies alive. Stimulus checks were sent, interest rates were lowered, and money was injected into the system at record levels. Now, at first, this seemed like a good idea. People had money to spend, businesses were able to survive, and everything appeared to be back on track. But there was a catch. Printing too much money leads to inflation, prices rising across the board. And when inflation gets out of control, central banks have to raise interest rates in order to slow it down. So, James, our ordinary worker, didn't think much about interest rates before, but now he's starting to feel the impact. His credit card payments are higher, his landlord raised rent because borrowing costs have gone up, and even his grocery bill keeps increasing. Even if you don't have debt, the global debt crisis still affects your daily life. Let's break down a few key ways. Number 1, higher prices everywhere. Inflation means that everything, from gas to groceries to electricity, costs more. If you've noticed that your paycheck doesn't stretch as far as it used to, you are experiencing the effects of the debt crisis firsthand. Number 2, higher loan costs. Thinking about buying a house? Just a few years ago, mortgage rates were around 3%. Now, they're closer to 7% or more. That can add hundreds of dollars to a monthly payment. Even small loans, like car payments or business loans, are becoming more expensive. Number 3, job uncertainty. When debt piles up, businesses cut costs. This often means layoffs, hiring freezes, or reduced pay raises. So James was hoping for a raise this year, but his boss told him that the company had to cut back on expenses. With higher borrowing costs, businesses have less money to expand or hire more employees. Number 4, weaker currency and less buying power. If a country has too much debt, its currency weakens. This makes imports more expensive and can lead to further price increases. For travelers, it means vacations abroad cost more. For businesses, it means higher costs for goods, which are then passed on to the customers. Number 5, government budget cuts and higher taxes. Now, when a government owes too much, it has to make tough choices. It can cut social programs like healthcare or education, or raise taxes to bring in more money. Either way, citizens end up paying the price. Turning our focus back to James, he recently noticed that his healthcare costs went up. His local government had to make budget cuts, which meant fewer subsidies for medical services. And at the same time, his paycheck was slightly smaller because of new tax deductions. Many economists are worried that if debt continues to rise at this pace, the world could face a financial collapse even worse than the one we experienced back in 2008. If governments can't pay their debts, they may default. This has happened before in countries like Argentina, Greece, and Venezuela. When this happens, inflation can spiral out of control, unemployment rises, and everyday people suffer the most. There's also the risk of bank failures. If banks lend out too much money and people can't pay it back, then banks can collapse. This is what happened in 2008. And it actually happened again in 2023, when several major banks failed due to risky loans and rising interest rates. If a major bank is to fail, it can trigger panic, leading to more economic instability. But the good news, well, you don't have to be a victim of the global debt crisis. Here's what you can do to protect your own finances. Number 1, reduce personal debt. Just like governments, individuals who borrow too much will struggle when interest rates rise. So pay off those high-interest debts like credit cards as soon as possible. Number 2, save for emergencies. Having an emergency fund with around 3 to 6 months worth of expenses can help you stay afloat if the economy is to worsen. Number 3, invest in inflation-proof assets. Things like stock, real estate, and gold tend to hold value over time. So if inflation continues, having your money in these investments can protect your wealth. Number 4, increase your income. In uncertain times, relying on a single paycheck can be quite risky. So consider learning new skills, starting a side hustle, or investing in income-generating assets. Number 5, stay informed and plan ahead. Economic trends change. The more you understand how global events affect your own money, then the better prepared you'll be. James took this advice very seriously. He started budgeting better, paid off some of his debts, and even began investing a small amount each month. He's also started looking into new job opportunities that could offer him a higher salary. So while he can't control the global economy, he can control his financial decisions. No one knows exactly how this will end. Some experts believe that governments will continue borrowing indefinitely, while others warn of major financial crashes. But what's clear is that debt can't keep growing forever. Eventually, something has to change. But for now, the best thing you can do is take control of your own finances. Pay attention to economic trends, avoid unnecessary debt, and make smart financial moves. Because at the end of the day, the global debt crisis isn't just about numbers on a screen. It's about real people like James, and like you. So, if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below for more financial insights. Also, let us know down in the comments section, how are you preparing for financial uncertainty? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.